Hello, everyone. Karen Tews here for Real Food for Vibrant Living. And I'm hoping to connect today with my granddaughter, Brienne Tuga. She is a teenager, a very active, energized girl, proficient in the kitchen. And she has, for, I'll let her tell exactly how long, but she has been cooking and eating a vegan dietary protocol. And I see Brienne is watching, and as soon as she asks to connect in here, we're going to pull her on, and she can share her story, why she got started, how it's working for her, and maybe you'll learn something because I didn't really ins and outs vegan as compared to vegetarian. Hi, Brienne.
Hi.
So glad you're here. We did a little test run before this, Brienne and I, and for some reason we can't get our screens to equalize, but we are both here. You can see her beautiful face, and we can hear you, Brienne. So I was sharing just a little bit of background that you're a
hmm
teenager,
Yes.
high schooler,
Yep.
and um, very active. In fact, we together have logged many hiking miles and
Yes, definitely. Yep.
lots of fun and very inspiring, I must say, Brienne. You are motivating to, I'm sure to your peers, but also to us who are older, like your Nana. So
Thank you.
this is really so fun because we've shared many things, but we also have common passions, I would think, for the kitchen, for food,
Yep.
for good food.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just had a short visit with Brienne and her family in Montreal a few days ago, and she was making something for me, and I'll talk about that later. But um, that's what made me think, okay, I want others to also hear a bit of your vegan story. So,
Yeah.
what is your vegan diet? Because maybe I know I needed to learn, and I'm still learning. What does your vegan dietary plate and your
Yeah.
lifestyle look like?
Yeah. So a lot of times there is a bit of misconception. Like when I'll tell people I'm vegan, a lot of people sometimes get confused by what that means. So I still have people today, like who've known me for years and ask me like if I can eat fish or something like that. And so basically for me, my vegan diet means that I don't eat any animal products. So that means dairy, so like milk and yogurt and cheese and stuff like that. And I don't eat meat. So I don't eat beef or chicken or fish. I don't eat eggs. And I tend to not eat honey. It depends. Sometimes I can't avoid it necessarily. But yeah, so it's basically I just don't eat dairy products.
Okay,
And,
so
yeah,
dairy and
dairy, meat, all that stuff, eggs.
all,
Yeah.
yeah, all right. So what prompted you to, because you kind of, I know in your family background,
Yes.
you've gone through a variety of periods of time, I guess, having this diet. And
Yeah.
so, but what prompted it? When did you sort of grab it, own
hmm
it for yourself, and why did you do that? I have to say hi. I see Auntie Ruth is watching. So
Hi.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, so as you were saying, I grew up as a kid and I ate mostly vegan. And that was until about 11 years old. So I was very accustomed to it. And then when we moved to Montreal as a family, our diet kind of changed because us being teens, we were going a bunch of places and we were very busy. And my mom kind of did not have time to like make all of these foods and stuff like that because we were busy. So she decided to incorporate a few more things like milk and like dairy and stuff like that that we weren't used to. And it was that way for about, I would say, a year and a half slash 2 years that I ate like that. It was really weird because like wasn't used to it and didn't grow up like that.
Yeah.
But after about a year and a half, 2 years, I decided that I wanted to go back to being vegan. Um, and I guess did you want to know like why?
Yeah, just really, yeah.
Okay.
Right, because what
So,
the
yeah.
reason, but why then?
Right. So, as a kid, I didn't know like a lot of reasons why we were vegan. It was mostly because like my parents would be like, "Oh, we don't agree with this thing" or something like that. But for me, I had to personally find a reason to become vegan again because I believe in order to stay vegan, you have to have strong reasons because it's not always easy.
Yeah.
So, for me, the biggest thing is ethical. I don't agree with how animals are treated in meat and dairy industry. Um, and I kind of got myself educated last summer, and I didn't realize how bad it was until
Like
I started
a
researching.
year ago last
Yeah,
summer.
well,
Yeah.
I've been vegan for a year and a half, so like
Okay.
a little
Yeah.
while ago, right?
Yeah.
And I hadn't realized that it was that
It was
serious as it
it was
was.
so it was so mean.
Yes, it was mean and very shocking, and I did not like it. And I realized that I did not want to support that. However, there are two other great reasons to be vegan, which is environmental and health. So, I'm also vegan for the health because I do believe that it is healthier to feed your body off of plants rather than animal products. So, but it also is good for the environment because, like, having to create all the fields for like cows to graze on and stuff like that and all that,
Mhm.
it tears down a bunch of rainforests and it's just not great environmentally. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I just
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
it's better, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so how is it working for you? And that's great. You know why, and that's very true to, have a good
Yeah.
solid reason so that
Yeah.
because it's not always convenient
No.
and it's not simple.
Yeah.
So how do you manage it? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so I've been really lucky to have a very supportive community because I know that some people don't support veganism. Um, but as like the time has gone on, I've realized just how much people will really try and accommodate me once they see how passionate I am about it.
Mhm.
Because I'll get asked sometimes, like, oh, are you willing to like eat this, like if you go out places? And I tell them no. And so, for instance, like when I go to birthday parties or something like that, most of the people now that I am friends with all know that I'm vegan, and they always will make like they'll always have like something there for me, and like they're super accommodating, and they'll like ask me if I need anything, and they'll be prepared.
Yeah.
Of course, like when I'm going for like sleepovers or something like that, because that is something I do, I'll always bring like just something in case.
Yes.
Like it's always smart to have like some snacks and like some easy food. So, but
What
yeah,
would be
people have been
what would be an
really amazing.
example? Say if you're going somewhere and you're not
Oh
really
yeah,
sure. Yeah, what would you
yeah.
take?
So I love bringing Lara bars with me. They're really great, healthy granola bar kind of thing. But I also like we have like microwavable packets that are like say for instance like pad thai or like Bombay potatoes or something like that, and
Mhm.
they're just like a packet, and you heat them up in the microwave for like a minute. And not all of the stores like options are vegan, but like a lot of them are, and so I will like bring a packet of that if I'm gone for dinner and like they don't have anything for me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll bring like you can get like little almond milk containers that you can stick a straw in
Mhm.
and drink, but like I'll just add them to like oatmeal or something.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Basic
get
things like
really
that.
quite
Yeah.
creative because I
Yeah.
mean you are an intuitive cook.
Yeah.
You like a dash of this and a
Yeah.
flavor here and there, and so you sort of get a sense of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not always easy. Because most of the time I just like if it's hard for me to feel like sometimes I'm a burden for people.
Hmm.
Um, but I realize that me being very firm in what I do sends the message across that I really believe strongly in this.
Hmm.
And I want people to realize that you can do this, and it is you're able to do it. It might not always be easy, and I want people to know that I'm not going to sway in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've been so blessed because people have been really helpful and like always make sure that there is something for me. And so I'm very blessed in that regard.
And you mentioned the health side.
Yeah.
Um, and by the way, I'm really happy to hear that you're not getting targeted in a negative way.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, we can't have Brienne over because
No, no,
no,
no.
no, because you're fun to be around. So and you can just get in the kitchen and find something if you have to. But
Exactly. Like
yeah,
I can cook if you don't want to cook for me. So
yeah, yeah. So how about the health part? Do you how do you feel about that since you've
yeah.
become
So basically, the reason why I think that like yeah, I guess if you're curious why I don't think that like milk or dairy is great for you is because our bodies weren't really designed, say, take for instance a cow's milk. Um, cow's milk was designed for baby cows, and our bodies don't have the same digestive system as they do. So we're unable to take the amount of nutrients that are beneficial to us as the baby cow would. And in fact, it can sometimes be worse off for ourselves because we'll have like indigestion or something like that because our bodies don't know how to digest it the way that it was designed to be. And also, like, it just has things that I guess that like you can't like the reason why people always say that milk's good for you is because of the calcium, right? But you can't actually absorb a lot of the calcium that is supposed to be in milk, and so you don't even get like necessarily the beneficial parts that like people usually talk about.
Mhm.
And
So what about
yeah,
sorry to jump in here, but
no,
I know one common, even with a
yeah,
vegetarian diet, one and with vegan, I can see
hmm
maybe more so, there would be the question, well, where do you get your protein? Do you have enough
yes,
energy and
yes,
tissue building
yeah.
protein? Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people have questions about protein and like the vitamin B12, which is usually found in meat. So for protein, there is a huge variety of things that you can eat. So one of my favorites is tofu or chickpeas, any like type of bean or um, legume. Like a lot of like nuts and seeds have protein in them. And if you're like really worried about protein or you're into like more bodybuilding or muscle building, there is a lot of vegan like protein powder options that you can always use. Um, and even like fruits and vegetables have protein in them. Like broccoli has a lot of protein. Like it's
Mhm.
crazy, like the things that have protein that you don't usually think
Mhm.
of.
Yeah.
So I would say as long as you're eating like a balanced amount of like food and not eating just like one thing,
Mhm.
you should be able to like incorporate enough protein into your diet.
Yeah.
And then for B12, it's pretty hard to get B12 in like actual food in it of itself. Nutritional yeast has B12 in it. Some does, like some doesn't, but most does. And then I take a B12 supplement, which I do recommend for people who are vegan, just to make sure that you get enough of that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Good. Yeah. So, and health wise, um, I mean, we all can sometimes have these times when you get a cold or whatever, but when you observe in the last year
Mhm.
and having
Yeah.
energy for exercise, I mean, I've been at a, I don't live close enough to you. I wish I lived
Yeah.
closer to see on a regular, but how do you do? My feeling is that you've had a pretty sustainable,
Yeah, yeah.
maintainable
Um,
health.
it's been really amazing. I have a lot of energy, and I don't struggle with like digestive issues. And something that I've noticed is like sometimes you can feel kind of like sluggish after meals and stuff like that, but I don't like get that feeling. And my body just like it feels so like I feel a noticeable difference, even if I've like say eaten like maybe some like not as like more processed food for like a week and then I go back to eating like cleaner food, like my body just feels so much better.
Yeah.
So but I would say it's like you need to keep like a balanced diet, so like have some like processed food and have some like clean food, because like being able to keep that balance is really important and not just eating just like one thing.
Hmm.
And my skin has been really good, like being a teenager, like not the
Yeah.
easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's not like perfect, but it's been really good. And I feel a lot, I just feel vibrant and I feel so
Yeah.
happy to have like a clean conscience of not feeling like I'm eating something that had to die for me.
Yeah.
Um,
So
so
mental
yeah,
mental health is very important too. And
yeah,
so if you feel strongly about that and you have alternative
yeah,
options, that are available and manageable for you. And from my experience, that your family is very supportive too. Like,
Yes, very. Yeah.
yeah, so that, and because this type of food is not that foreign to you as a
Yeah, yeah.
family, you've
Yeah.
done off and on throughout the years. And so everyone really, I know veggies, everybody loves lots of veggies, and that's really a huge
Yes.
start of a
Yes.
plate full of goodness, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so can you tell me one, I know it's hard to choose one, but one or two like really full go-to meals. I posted when I posted the announcement for your, I
Yeah.
posted actually, it was one of your photos off of your Facebook
Yes.
page. And
Yeah.
so what
Well,
would that kind of thing be a
yeah,
favorite
okay.
or?
Something that I tend to make like a lot of, because I at home usually make my own breakfast and my own lunch every day, and then I'll make a dinner once a week for the family. And for lunch, I like almost always gravitate to making like rice noodles, and then I'll saute up a bunch of like vegetables, so like broccoli, mushrooms, pepper, onion, and then I'll fry up some tofu, and I'll make just like a teriyaki sauce, so like tamari, maple syrup, sesame seed oil, mix that all together,
Oh,
and it's like
good.
a really nice, like Asian kind of like style
Yeah.
tofu meal. I love that. I eat that all the
Yeah.
time, maybe too much.
Yeah.
um, and for breakfast, I like multiple things, but there's kind of two favorites. So one is like oatmeal, great classic. Love adding like just a bunch
Yes.
of fruits and nuts and like dried fruits, and it's amazing. And then I
It's like
love eating.
dessert, isn't it?
Pardon?
It's almost like dessert.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have this toast that's called Ezekiel bread, and basically it's
Mhm.
sprouted grains that go into the bread. It also has like the one we get is like lentils and has like really cool stuff in it. You don't even taste it, but and I'll toast that up and I'll put peanut butter and banana on it, and it's amazing. So
Yeah. You've
yeah,
got, yeah, you've got some good solid standbys that you can mix up with changing the veggies and changing the
yeah.
nut butter. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Really.
usually like a basic, like I like to have like some grain and some like fat and some like, vegetable or something, some fruit, and then, you just decide what you want to do with that.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
yeah.
Oh, that's really good. Well, I really appreciated you sharing this just because for you, it's working really well. And for a lot of people, it
Yes.
couldn't. It just takes some intention, and even
Yes.
for whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
And you post a lot of things on Instagram. I don't know if you have one that's designated for but you do
I
have a
do. I
YouTube
have a
channel.
designated food one. I do.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So why don't you send me those, and then I'll
Yeah.
post them along with this video, okay?
Sure.
And people can follow, and you've got wonderful other YouTubes for especially, I suppose, targeted for the teenagers,
Yes.
and a little bit more young adults, but
Yeah.
seeing all kinds of
Yep.
fashion and um,
Yep.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, do you have anything last little word to say?
Oh dear.
You you would you would recommend it? It feels good for you.
I
It works for
would
you.
recommend it, yes, because it makes you, well, if you do it right and if you do what feels good, it makes you feel great.
Yeah.
And yeah, for me, it's not, I feel like a lot of people have a misconception about like veganism or being vegetarian as being a diet, but I like to consider it a lifestyle, because diets usually are considered like something that you do to like lose weight or like try and fix something. But
Yeah.
veganism can be a lifestyle and something that is sustainable and can be long term. So,
Very
yeah.
good. Very good. Very well said. So, to finish off with what I started out at the very beginning when
Yeah.
I got the idea, you were showing me how to make a mug cake, right?
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
mug
And
cake.
so, I've got my little recipe here, but you want to just peel it off and share if you can remember it?
Yeah, okay. So one of my favorite desserts that I like to make, because it's really easy and it's warm and it's sweet, and I'm a sucker for sweet things, is a mug cake. So basically, what you do is you have a mug, and you need a microwave for this, but and you mix up about, well, if you want like a fullish size recipe, you do a quarter cup of flour, mix that together, and then you add in about a quarter to half a teaspoon of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar. So you mix the dry ingredients together. And then you add 4 tablespoons of milk of your choice. So I do almond milk or soy milk, a tablespoon of nut butter, which is a good replacement for oil because I like replacing oil when I
Mhm.
can.
Yeah,
And then you can add a dash of vanilla and mix that all up. You can add a bunch of different like toppings in it. You could add like raisins and like nuts if you wanted, but I like to add chocolate chips. So it's
yeah,
kind of like a chocolate chip cookie type of style thing.
yeah.
And then you mix that up and you put it in the microwave for about like a minute to a minute and 10. And then bring it out and have it with a nice glass of like cold almond milk and just, yeah, dig right in.
It is. In fact, your
Yeah.
papa and I are going to have that for dessert tonight because I haven't made it for him since I got home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this has been so great. Thank you. And
Yeah, no
maybe we can do
problem.
something else another time.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
it'd be fun to do that. And yeah, just send me those links for that I can put on here and
Yeah.
we can follow what you're doing. All right.
Cool.
We'll talk to you again.
All right.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.